Miles, I feel like this is the win that you guys have been looking for the way you wanted to all homestand. Can you take us through the last play and just what happened there and what you were seeing?
Melo passed it to me, man, on my Ron Artest. But nah, he attracted the whole defense. He attracted the whole defense the whole game. And I told him beforehand, like, when you drive to the hoop, I'm going to be open in that corner. And he passed it to me, so I do that.
How good of a feeling is this for you and this team, knowing the work that you guys have been putting in all homestand? You've been consistently fighting to be able to end the homestand this way and hear that Spectrum Center crowd the way they sounded at the end of this game.
Yeah, it feels good because the crowd shows up no matter what for us, you know. Even when we was playing the Wizards, it was a packed-out crowd. Every game was packed out this homestand. Even how bad it was, they still came. So that shout out to Buzz City, shout out to the city of Charlotte. They did a great job of supporting us, and I'm happy we could get them a win before we left.
A play that stood out to me, Devin Vassell gets a turnover. You guys commit a turnover. He's going out in transition. You are booking it back in transition to try and contest the shot. Somehow you guys are able to not allow a point on that possession. Can you talk about that play and how that, I guess, that hustle has went through the entire team, and you could see it from tonight too?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm able to do that hustle play, that'll set a standard for everybody else on the team. Because coach and all the players consider me a leader. I consider myself a leader. So if your leader isn't hustling to make plays, make winning plays like that, you can't call yourself a leader. So I just feel like I got to do that consistently. And we can do that consistently as a team. We play really well on defense today.
What can you say about Musa and just his fearlessness? It seems like he was trying to dunk on guys all night, even Wemby a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, that's who Musa is. He's been playing like that all season, and he's got his shot now. I've been saying that from the jump. He was going to make it hard for him not to have playing time, and now he's starting, and I'm happy for him.
Feels like we spent this whole homestand talking about slow starts and not being able to finish fourth quarters. Tonight you did both. You guys got off to a big lead in the first quarter, then closed out a close one at the end. What kind of confidence does that give you in your team, your coaching staff, and in yourself that you finally put into practice things you guys have been talking about in these post-game press conferences for 3 weeks?
Just giving ourselves a chance. You know, that's been our big focal point, just starting off the game right. And not getting down too much and then playing our way into the game. We want to start off, try to hit the team in the mouth first, and go from there and just give ourselves a chance. And in finishing games, I think we've been well at that. We've been doing good at that all season, just paying attention to details. But we've been good in the fourth quarters.
Miles, how would you describe your emotions in the final seconds when Fox's buzzer beater was waved off?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing against Fox since high school. He's been doing that since high school. So once he shot it, I kind of knew it was going in. But once I found out it was good, it was great. You know, it was good for the home team, good for the crowd, and it was just a great game altogether.
Even before the game, Charles was telling us that just how much pride he's taken in the leadership that you've shown. He mentioned at times where you could have sulked, you've really worked to find solutions across the board. Just the growth that you're experiencing as a leader, what do you attribute that to?
Coach believing in me, my team believing in me. You know, they had the utmost confidence in me. You know, I started off the season not playing to my abilities, not playing to the best of my abilities, and my team still had confidence in me. So that's a big testament to them, and that just shows how much confidence they all have in me. So if they have confidence in me, then I got confidence in myself to be a leader. So I'm going to continue to stay consistent and take on that leadership job.
You guys didn't have either of the trade deadline additions yesterday. How do you feel about bringing those guys into the lineup?
I'm excited. Nurk came in, DK came in, Elfrid Payton came in. And those guys, they know how to play the game of basketball. You know, Nurk has been around. He's been in the playoffs. DK just came playing from the Lakers. So he's kind of used to the bright lights, even though he's a rookie. And then Elfrid Payton, a veteran point guard. It's all great additions for us, and I think they're going to help us in a major way.
You faced some heavyweights in the NBA during this 9-game homestand, and you were able to close it off with a win. Do you feel like this team has grown since being here for 2 weeks straight?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, we've been playing against great teams in the NBA, you know, playoff teams, and we need those type of games just to get us going. You know, I think we're going to have a great road stand, and we're just going to continue to get better for the rest of the season.
Talk a lot about leadership. It looks like whenever there's a defensive miscommunication and you're on the floor, you're the one that's calling it out in the timeout. I think there was a moment in the third quarter where someone missed a switch or something, and you grabbed the team together and you're talking about that. You've made a pretty big leap on defense. Can you talk about how being like so intricate on those details is helping your own defensive abilities and the team's defensive abilities as well?
I just think communication in general is helping the team. You know, you won't know what you're doing on the defensive end if you're not communicating, and that's been the biggest thing for us. I feel like if we're communicating, then we're awesome on defense. When it's quiet, that's when we have those first quarter when we're losing by 10, 12, get down 20. So I just feel like us communicating from the jump is helping us out.
Miles, you see guys coming and going all week. What was it like for you? And I know you wanted to be here, and you are still here. But what was this week for you? Was it kind of pins and needles, or what was that for you?
I mean, the trade deadline is always tricky. You know, it's a business at the end of the day, and it's tough to see those guys go. You know, I've played with Cody since my second year in the NBA. Nick, Mark, which is really surprising to me, and then Vasa, he was a great teammate. But it's tough seeing those guys go. But at the end of the day, it's a business. They're on playoff teams right now, so I'm happy for them. And like I said, the additions that we got to the team, I think they're going to help us. So we just got to continue to get better. Like I said, I'm happy for those guys, and I know they're going to be great where they are.
Coach, we know you've been looking to put one of these games together on this homestand. No better way to end it on a game like this. Your overall impression of this game and the way that things ended.
Yeah, I thought great team effort by everyone in the locker room, everyone that played tonight. It was good to get Melo back. I think that we just see what he adds to our group offensively. And then that play at the end of the game where he just continues to trust the pass, trust his teammates, make the right play, take what the game gives you. And so really good to see him back out there, finding his rhythm, finding his groove. I think as a team, we've talked about trying to get off to better starts. We talked about trying to communicate a little bit more and get on the same page. And starting the game switching, I think, forces you to do that, especially versus a really good team that gets in and out of screens quickly. And so if you don't have physical steers, they usually punish you, and you end up with 2 on the ball. So I thought from the beginning of the game, we did a great job communicating, having those steers, allowing our defenders to be able to get under the screen and then keep Wembanyama and some of their other guys that try to post just in front of us. And then, you know, I thought I just would also highlight Miles. I think that he just continues to impact winning throughout the whole game. And, you know, that play in transition, whereas a great next play mentality, he goes down, he blocks the shot. Vassell ends up with an ISO on the wing. He keeps him in front. He contests, and, like, we end up getting a stop. And, you know, after the game, we just talked about great things happen to people that just, like, put it all into the game, and they leave it out there. And so then he ends up hitting the game-winning shot, too. So just really proud of the effort that he is making on both ends of the court and then also off the court with his vocal leadership.
You talk about a total team win. Rebounding really sticks out. The effort on the glass tonight, especially the offensive glass, and second chance points. You guys outscore them 27-9. Overall, just the job that this team has done on the glass tonight against the Spurs and a bigger Wembanyama.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, defensively, focal point's been trying to, how do we get a couple more hits? And, you know, shout out to Onk for, I think, like, he had a one-on-one battle one time. I think it was either Sohan or Castle or somebody that was rolling, and it was like a one-on-one, mano-a-mano, eye-to-eye, and he made sure to get a hit first. And, like, that's what it comes down to a lot of times. We can do all the defensive rebounding drills we want, but every situation is going to look different. The spacing is going to look different. The personnel is a little different. And it comes down to just that physicality and that, like, who just wants it more and who's going to figure it out. And I thought we did that on the defensive end. And then offensively, the competitive spirit of the group to just continue to be relentless offensive rebounders is great. And Musa obviously spearheads it, but I thought Daquan flew in there and got a couple, too, that were timely. And then some of our other guards as well.
That play with Miles in the corner there, that Melo found, was that what you drew up on the timeout, or was that something that Melo basically found on his own?
Yeah, I would say that it's just the continuation of the play. You know, you're looking for Miles on the back pick first, and then it's Melo's job to get open and then be able to drive. And Miles just did a great job of finishing his cut. Melo did a great job of being Melo and driving the ball, and then, again, just reading the defense at the rim.
You mentioned that earlier, too, about Melo trusting the pass. What about that, not trying to force a shot there and making sure he actually gets teammates involved and makes a winning play.
Yeah, it adds like an extra life and spirit to your group when your best player is willing to show that he's willing to pass the ball. And if two men are committed to him, he's willing and able to make that pass. And I think it just goes a long way. Then it holds Nick Smith Jr. accountable. It holds Tijon accountable. And so down the line, everyone's accountable then at that point. And so we follow suit. And you usually follow your best players. And so for him to do that, I think it instills more confidence in his teammates, and it just instills a more contagious spirit to trust the pass throughout the game, whether we're making or missing.
Back to Musa, 9 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Obviously a bigger role without Mark Williams. How much confidence do you have in him going forward?
A lot of confidence in Musa. I think that he's just kind of scratching the surface too, which is kind of cool. This is the first time I think he's had an opportunity to play this much of a role, these type of extended, consistent minutes, and he's making the most of his opportunity. He comes in every day with the right attitude, right mindset, and we understand what he gives us defensively, and I think that the guys just continue to talk to him. He continues to grow. The coaching staff is trying to help him in areas that he can also affect the game offensively, even outside of rebounding, and he's doing it.
How do you see when Yusuf comes in impacting that at all?
Yeah, just another guy that understands the game. I think that he's going to be really good in terms of understanding player tendencies on defense, also just bringing an edge and a physicality that I think that we need, and he'll continue to help us on the defensive glass, be really tight in that area, and then offensively, I think he's added a little bit of shooting to his game over the last couple years, so that'll be a nice added bonus to our offense, but he does such a great job too just with his screens in general. I think that he's going to get Melo open, he's going to get Nick Sky open and Miles, and so and down the line for our guards. So I look forward to him joining the group.
Hornets committed turnover. Miles Bridges sprints back. He contests a Devin Vassell layup or dunk attempt. You guys are able to come out of that possession giving up 0 points. Can you talk about how he has solidified the identity that you want from this team?
Yeah, he just great next play mentality on the play that you're talking about, and that's what building consistent winning habits is all about, like controlling what you can control. Can't remember if it was a missed shot or a turnover on the other end, but you have to be able to now transition your mindset to I want to do anything I can possibly to impact the next possession, to impact our process, to make sure we're giving ourselves the best chance to hopefully win that possession and win the game. And he just continues to do everything he can, which I'm really happy for and grateful for.
Here in the back, Charles, with yesterday's moves at the deadline, it seemed like a lot of the outside conversation was about this team, building for the future and kind of, getting assets to help this team down the line. But when you look at where this team is at today compared to where it was day one when you kind of stepped in and tried to instill your culture here, what encourages you most about where this team is at right now?
Yeah, I think there's just a ton of talent on our roster, a lot of young talent, a lot of veteran talent. But I just continue to see a group that is becoming more and more consistent with their daily habits and their routines. They're putting their minds and bodies in the best possible place that they can be coming into a game, which is allowing us to be as flexible as we are. And whoever's available that night, I think that they've stepped in and they've continued with the right competitive mindset. And so it's great to see that our group is understanding all the little things that add up to help you be a consistent competitor. And it's not just on game night; it's the preparation before that as well.
Tonight, we talked this whole homestand. We've talked this whole homestand about starting games off right, winning the first quarter, and then we talked a bunch of times about closing games well. Tonight, you did both. You had a great start. You closed the game well. What does that do for confidence levels of you in your first year on the job and your staff as well? That the message you've been preaching for the last 2 weeks really kind of came to fruition tonight.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's about the players. Credit to the staff for thinking about what are the ways that we can message things appropriately. But I think more than anything, it's about your players. And, sometimes your message can go in one ear and out the other. But when you have guys that care at the level that our players do, they come in with the right mindset every day, then they all of a sudden want to apply it. And I think that's a sign of a team that's very coachable, but also very hungry.
Moving forward, what do you see as the impact of a game like this, a win like this, withstanding the late push from the Spurs, but ultimately finishing this game?
Yeah, I think that it just continues to add confidence to the group, to understand what we did to prepare, how we were able to be resilient throughout the game. whether or not they went on runs or not. I thought that we just responded every time. The communication in the timeouts I thought was very productive and it much improved tonight. And, as long as we're on the same page and we're competing like we do, I take our chances every night.
Charles came in a little late, but tell me about the last play and what was the play design and did it come out anywhere near what it was designed to come out as?
Yeah, it was well executed by the team. Not having Cody here now, well, we had to have Seth be our inbounder. And so Seth kind of looks at me sometimes like I'm the best shooter and you have me inbounding the ball. But because he's such a great team guy and I trust him in those moments and he came through for us, I thought he did a great job of calling a timeout when he didn't see what he wanted to see in the previous play. In that play, Miles is obviously our first look. Melo did a great job of setting that screen, then getting himself open. And then from there, he just made a winning play. I thought that he did a great job driving, getting himself downhill, and then making the appropriate rim read. Miles finished his cut all the way through and was able to knock it down.